Jam on toast!
Hey there, welcome to the Jam. I'm Cameron, and David Toast is to Despicable Me. So the short sell on this one is that a supervillain adopts 3 young girls and an attempt to complete a plan to steal a moon. My love for this one is when they finally launch the rocket and he gets to the moon. There's the little NASA-like scene with all the minions in the rows, and in the front row, 2 of the minions just start making out. I barely caught it, but it was so funny, because it's not something you expect of them. My hate for this is that this movie fights the suspension of disbelief the entire time. Like, just one example to sedate it is Gru and 2 minions are in the hall with the shrink ray in Vector's place, and there's like a teeny tiny vent. It's just about the same height as the minions, maybe. Well, once they get inside it, however they get inside it, Gru is able to stand up and carry the shrink ray through the ventilation system. And it's not like they shrunk themselves with the shrink ray, because when they fall down through the vent above Vector, they're all normal size. More succinctly, my hate is that if you try to review and analyze this movie, it kind of ruins it for you. The MVP for this, without a doubt, was Gru. I want to give it to the minions, but Gru drives it. The girls are there as secondary, and the minions are just like this perfect supporting chorus for the movie. I couldn't give it to them properly. Well, let's get on to the categories.
Aesthetics.
If I'm remembering this correctly, this was a DreamWorks picture, so the animation was really well done, I gotta say. But I don't necessarily like the aesthetic choices in the more realistic humans. Vector was just kind of a weird thing, even though he was one of the more normal ones. But like Gru with the big pointy nose, they even make fun of it by him sticking his nose through a book at one point. He's just so oddly shaped that it's like, what's going on there? The kids are kind of normal. I liked them fine. And then you get Mr. Pinkle, who was like a version of Dilbert's boss on steroids. I don't know what the idea there was. Well, I just didn't enjoy the general aesthetic, like with the humans. The minions were fine because they were ridiculous puppetry type creatures that just don't make any sense, and that's fine. And the dog as well, because the whole point with them was supposed to be like, what are you? You don't exist. Which is why when the kids find them, they ask, what are those, and not who are those. Aesthetics gets an 89.
Character development.
This whole movie is really kind of a look at Gru. He really drives it with his character development. We get flashbacks of him as a kid dealing with his mom. He deals with his mom as an adult throughout the movie. He deals with the kids being a parent, reflecting upon the way he was raised versus how he's raising these kids. Work versus being a parent, even though it's taking over the world versus dealing with these kids. So it's really got some neat dynamics for traditional family dynamics without having a traditional family element in play. Even with the minions, because there's like that thing where like they all insist on getting kiss goodnight, and he finally does it. He kisses the girls, and then the minions are like, "Baboo!" And they finally do that. And he goes through all of them. Who knows how long that freaking took? But I really like that, like what they did with it, and there's definitely enough of it. Character development gets a 92.
Storyline.
The story was kind of weak, and they actually make fun of it throughout the movie. Like, Plinkett doesn't like Gru because he thinks he's lame. And if you look at Gru's accomplishments, they're even lackluster, and he kind of pokes fun at that. The whole thing with Vector coming in to be the better villain, it's really kind of self-degrading to a point, and it makes me not like the story as much. I'm all for an underdog, but not necessarily like to pick on him so much, because it just eats a lot of value in the story. Like, yeah, we've got someone who wants to be better at his job, great. He gets better at his job and finds the self-worth of himself to do that through becoming a genuine parent or supportive character in a family dynamic. Storyline gets an 80.
Compulsion.
If you don't analyze this movie and you let people who if you don't analyze this one and you let people who review movies review them and just enjoy it, this is a top-notch movie. It's funny, it's got great timing, the voice is all really well done, which honestly is a big, big deal, especially for this movie, especially for the minions of all things. And you wouldn't think that the nonsense would matter, but it really But this movie's going to keep you laughing, it's going to keep you entertained, it's going to keep you engaged, it's going to keep kids engaged. It's a great movie for all ages, and it's going to get you there. Compulsion gets a 90. Now if you total all that up, you get an average of 87.75. For my rep review, I've got to say this is a wonderful, heartfelt movie. Just remember to turn your brain off and enjoy it. It'll definitely get you where you need to go. Once again, this was a review for #WeAreMovieClub. This week's pick was Charlie's. Next week, it's back to me going into Red vs. Blue Season 7. Really looking forward to getting into it. I think we're going to see a little bit of animation towards the end of this, and then we're definitely going to see upgrades throughout from this. I'm really excited to hear what Charlie has to say about this, as we're going to end up discussing Season 6 and 7, hopefully on Saturday. So if you click the link, you'll take you over to We Are Movie Club. You can see what's going on over in that channel. Go tickle Charlie, he'll like that. And check out more movie reviews and stuff here on my channel. That's it for me. I'm Camera. If you don't like me, bite me.
If you want to see anything else we're up to, go ahead and click the annotations and they'll take you to our other channels.